See if anybody comes in here. See if anybody cares. There's some notifications. And we shall see what's going on. You are first, John. What's up? Oh, yeah. Get my glass on. So we can read the comments. All right. John, what's up? Little White Coach. Dice Man, what's up? Jason Perry, Provost Motorsports. Dennis Smith. Hey, Provost, how's it going? Overtaxed in Minnesota. Steve Berger, Mike Dolfer, Donnie Luke. Beautiful, beautiful sunny, or was sunny, Kingdom City, Missouri at the Petro. I have a lovely view of, well, I'll show you. I'll show you what I have a lovely view. I have a lovely view of 3 Werner trucks and sewage and a shop. So, beautiful evening, beautiful evening. So I figured I was bored, and I watched a documentary on Bruce Lee, and been sitting here listening to the APU AC come on and off and on and off. It's only thrown the breaker twice, so that's good. So Anthony Blackbeard, what's up? Something, how's it going? Big Houston, man, we got the normal group in here. What's up, Snow Lord? Snow Lord. Yeah, Triple T. John Cater, just a stupid lifey. There it is. Yeah. You know where I'm at. Well, I hope so, Daniel. I just told you. Gear Grabber, how's it going? You were just reading an article about Michelle Meldrum. Well, I hope it was a good article. I saw an interesting article today on YouTube. Freightwaves talked about the autonomous stuff that's coming, and I think it's a little bit closer than we think, right? Michael Dow, how's it going? Big Rig CEO. I believe you have a little one in the world, don't you? Don't we have a new person in the world? But yeah, I think autonomous vehicles are actually a little bit closer than we think. So it'll be interesting. So, but we've got that going on. We haven't heard anything about the new hours of service, if that's ever going to come down the pipe. And let's see, what else? What other trucking content can we do? Well, the short game has been playing well for me this week. As you know, well, as you probably don't know, you might know after I do my vlog, you know, I got the GoPro out, been using it, right? This little thing is awesome, right? And we're on recap hours, and so we've been making it work. That's the beauty. Let's see. New granddaughter is officially here. Congratulations, Big Rig CEO. That is good to know. Big Houston. Okay, I already read him. Thanks, Berger, for the amazing comments. Charles Anderson, how's it going? Congratulations, Big Rig. I got a new granddaughter last week. Now, I'm going to talk about Jason Perry in this video, and also to talk about another friend of mine, Michael, that they have both lost. I think Anthony Blackbeard, low carb, high fat, has lost them some weight, right? You gotta love it. You gotta love it, right? How many pounds, Jason, did you lose? Like 56? Mom and baby are doing great. Thanks for all the congrats. Good deal, man. Good deal. That is awesome. Steve Berger says, just calling like I see it, Big Rig. Thanks on, congrats on the new granddaughter. Yep, we a lot of changes this week, right? A lot of changes. You know, Jeff signed on a new guy. 56 pounds. Awesome. 56 pounds. I remember now guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but that's since the end of March. So April, May, June. Oh great, Prime just left, so now I gotta worry about someone backing next to me over here. And I remember I was on last load to deliver before I went to Matt's. And Jason called me and we talked about this stuff, and it is so awesome to see someone turn their life around, right? Fasting Friday, yeah, oh yeah, you're right, absolutely right. Fasting Friday, little Viking coach. So as usual, I just ate avocado, so we'll go from 9 to 9 tomorrow. How's that? And and it's amazing what can happen when you take sugar and flour out of your life, man. It really is, because Jason's proof of that. I am proof of that. I'm proof of that, right? Something, how's it going? Yeah, Jason's kicking it, man. Jason is kicking it. And that's great. But I remember when I called him, he was drinking a bunch of sodas a day and all this stuff. Man, he's changed his life around. I like seeing that, because I know how frustrating it is to be a bigger person, and how it just hurts. Everything just hurts, you know. Find more spring in my step. So, but yeah, I guess Jeff signed on a new contractor today, and so that's you know, we'll see how that goes. Listening, munching on Oreos. Tony Luke. I thought today was Friday. Went from 6:30 last night to 7 today fasting. Guess I'll do it again tomorrow. There you go, Anthony. You can do whatever you want. So if you do it, did you honestly think today was Friday? It did feel like Friday to me. I'm working until Saturday. I took 10 days off for vacation. My wife and the kids wanted to go out to the woods and listen to birds and stuff, and I knew I was going to have to kind of hustle when I got back, and so far we're doing all right. So far we're on course to make the goal for the quarter, the goal for the week, and the goal for the month. So, well, we got Werner here, who's completely not setting up right. So we're going to watch him. Oh. So we'll watch with him. Yay, Wood says nothing witty. Just had a huge salad, bacon, hard-boiled eggs, blue cheese dressing. Very nice. So I guess the carnivore is over there, little Mike coach. You thought I was right. Burger, you're always confused what the days are. You guys are going to be my witnesses if he hits me. He's doing all right, though. See, he's got all that space over here to go straight back, so I don't know why he was setting up like he did, but he's doing all right. Once he can see me in his right mirror, he'll be okay. Now he needs to pull up. He's getting awfully close to that truck, to his right, or to his left. Go forward. No. Oh, well. He's doing all right. You know, you got to give these Dollar General guys some credit. They have to back in some little itty bitty stores, you know. They got to go down streets that in parking lots that aren't meant for the big trucks. So, and it kind of makes me wonder why the Dollar General doesn't let him spend the night on the yard there. But he's doing all right. He's got it. No four-ways on. Yeah, that's true. I feel better with adding some greens back in, but salad, but in salad only. Okay, little white coach. At least he doesn't do like me, hanging out the door while backing. Donnie, I did that with my 660. Now I've have a problem with this truck. The control panel right here that controls the locks, the mirrors, the windows. It doesn't want to work on some occasions. And I had to drive 10 minutes down the road with the window down. And so I'm going to have that looked at next time I'm home. Or maybe after that, at the end of the month. But also means that I can't, I have to open my door, because you should always have a window or something open, because you're going to hear it before you feel it if you hit something, right? I don't like this camera. You hear the brakes? He's like about 20 feet from the trailer behind him. He's like me, he doesn't have depth perception. If you don't like my backing, stay off the sidewalk. There you go, overtax. But I was one of those guys that hung out. I opened the door on my 660, and that cost me a phone one time, because I had a phone sitting here mounted right here, and it was an old. I had on the charger, like it was about dust anyways, and I was hitting the steering wheel, and I hit the cord. The phone slid down, and my front wheel just went crunch. So. After that, every time I opened the door to back, the phone was put in the seat there. Steve, I'm in Kingdom City, Mo. But, let's see, what else do I got to report? Getting a bunch of stuff done at the house, so that's kind of cool, I guess, in a way. Yeah, Burger. I know you're nowhere near here. I know that. I don't think you've been more west than Indiana in the last year. 2 years, actually. But, you know, hey, whatever works, right? You're in Ohio, yeah? I think I remember that you were going to be in Ohio. But you know, I set a weekly goal for myself to kind of increase my revenue, and it's worked, and I've been able to create some consistency, so that's been helping, because face it, we're seeing a lot of people drop off the spot market, so you know, it can be a tough gig. You know, I know that. You know, there are people doing well out here. So, but you're coming to Springfield for spaghetti. Well, I can cook some mean spaghetti. Burger in the Money Ball. There you go. I'm in the home of the big smell, Cedar Rapids. Yeah. I cook some mean spaghetti and you know, but we have other things in our arsenal. We got meatloaf. Wife makes killer meatloaf, killer meatballs, killer lasagna, right? I break my keto thing just for you, Burger, if you came over. We could jam on some guitars. I mean, it'd be awesome. You're in Kearney, Missouri, Charles. you're right. I can't eat spaghetti. I can eat noodles made out of zucchini or broccoli. Not broccoli, zucchini. Squash, whatever. But it's kind of funny. I've been doing these short hops. You know, Big Rig CEO was talking about Moneyball. If you go to Big Rig CEO's videos, he talks about the Moneyball method of making money, right? And a lot of the guys at Snyder do this too. And Jeff's always talked about it as well. But the short game, right? And the short game was perfect for me this week because I was on recap hours. And now the way I scheduled everything last week, I never drove more than 8 hours a day, except for there's one day where I burned 10 hours for the day. But when you do 8 hours a day on the average, you never run out of your 70. So when you come to recap, you're recapping 8 hours, and you can usually get stuff done pretty good. So I had to put short hops together. Now, by themselves, you know, I'd try to do a combination of long haul and short haul, and long haul being like 800 miles maybe. But the short hops, next thing you know, wow, there's my revenue at the end of the week, you know. And granted, that's 6 days, you know, I'll go home Saturday afternoon, I'll leave out Monday morning. So barely a 34, but that was intentional because of the vacation I took. And with things going on at the house, and the truck's going to start asking for money again, I have a feeling. So we need to keep it up, right? Consistency is key. Dang, lasagna sounds really good. Haven't had any of that in probably a year. You don't burn the spaghetti? No, Dennis, I know. Got a good zucchini recipe I like? There you go. Share it. Check out Two Keto Dudes YouTube. He says he's perfected a keto pasta. His name is Carl from the podcast. Okay. Solar can eat whatever he wants. Just because he doesn't choose to normally doesn't mean he can't. Easy and Sons. It was good talking to you today, Easy and Sons. Hope, I know all is well in your world. I'm recapping now too, but I'm getting ready to go home. I've had enough fun for a while. I hear you. I like your video about trucking. Is it a curse or a blessing? I have a video coming up in a day or two elaborating on that and giving some more extensive thought on it. Trucker's Table, thank you very much. That's something I've been telling my trainees for a while, because I know some really good drivers that took to this lifestyle pretty naturally, but then they tend to dwell on the negative stuff, and I think that they put themselves through more stress than they need to because of that, and that's kind of what prompted that. But also being honest with yourself, that's a big part of that video. Let's get some more light in here. There we go. And I think that honesty to yourself is hard to come by. I know that I've lied to myself quite a bit. I was lying to myself when I wasn't running enough. And and that's a big part of it. Man, I can't make this thing work. There we go. We'll just do it that way. How's that? And if you're not honest with yourself, you can't make changes that you need to make. I used to be really bad about not keeping up with paperwork and finances and stuff like that. And so at the beginning of the year, I wrote my goals down for the year, right? And there's a list, there's a checklist every day that I go over of what to do before I go looking at Facebook or looking at YouTube or whatever. And for the last 2 weeks, I've kind of strayed from this, and lo and behold, I was getting depressed. I was getting sad. I was getting kind of, I don't know, anxious, right? And I watched a really good video earlier this week about motivation, I guess, about, and it kind of affected me a little bit. It was a good video. So I've been trying to watch a lot more motivational stuff. Everybody's been complaining about the YouTube trucking universe right now. And there was somebody that was doing a video earlier, and he was, everybody's tired of the drama. Everybody's talking about tired of the drama, right? And Trucker Jim went even as far as to say something about it. He almost got his channel, shut down, and I think that what it's done is created negativity, right? So if you're following all these channels that are negative to you, then you feel like YouTube's a toxic place. Well, it's not that YouTube's like trucking. It could be a curse, it could be a blessing. You can learn how to do something watching YouTube. You can be entertained by something on YouTube, or somebody's video can really take you down and bring you down. And I believe that it's kind of the same thing. If you look at YouTube universe as being a curse, it's going to be a curse, or the internet in general. And so there are a few channels that have gone away because of the negative impacts that they've felt. And it's just there's more to the trucking YouTube universe than just the core people that we all know. There are channels I've never even heard of that had 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers. People I've never heard of, and I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while. My first YouTube channel went up in 2008. So while I'm not one of the first original ones, I've been doing this a while. Got out of it for a minute because I didn't have the equipment. I was kind of frustrated with it. And then once I was at Landstar, I started a new channel. I wanted to kind of tell people like how I'm screwing up being an owner operator. And then it took off from there. And I never went to war with anybody. I never went against anybody. I think I had a disagreement with Coach and we talked it out. And, that was back when everybody was trying to get all the Schneider guys to Travel Loco and all that. And that's been about it. And I didn't do it for views. I did it because I was tired of getting emails from people freaking out of what Coach was saying. But we hashed it out, we talked it out, and everything's fine. And that was like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And no, it was 2 years ago because I was still at Schneider. But other than that, I just kind of, stay in my lane. And if you feel that the trucking YouTube universe is negative to you, then you need to find other channels. There are really good channels. Ratman Roden, he's my favorite. He is my new favorite right now because his style is really it's really good. He's got really good at camera equipment. I wish I had camera equipment like some of these guys are coming out with. There you go. That's a good idea, Burger. Dave Mustaine throat cancer. Yep. Yeah, I heard about that. But you know what? Bruce Dickinson had that, and the singer of Overkill had that. They both got over it. So I think he's going to be okay. I checked out, then unsubscribe if they aren't about trucking or contain drama. It's look, YouTube, my YouTube channel is not necessarily always about trucking. It's about me, right? Me. It's about me. And just my thoughts, like the morning coffee thoughts. That's just stupid thoughts that come to my head. I'm still doing the whole, I'm an owner operator trying to figure stuff out. I still do that. You know, I like doing the truck show videos, and I like doing the vlogs, you know. I wish I had more time and better camera equipment, but you know, I mean but I like what I'm doing. I do it for fun, you know, I do it for enjoyment. You know, you know, I don't even look at the views of what my videos are doing as far as like the vlogs. I know that they never hardly ever break 200. The morning coffee thoughts are taking off. The best one though, the best performing one is the one that's saying I was quitting YouTube, right? Clickbait. And I try not to clickbait too much because I know that gets annoying, you know, and I've been better about not taking out my live feeds, but you know, I've been on YouTube since 2003. My first video came out in 2010. It was a game video. There you go. I was financed for $4K down and $845 a month. For what? A house? Truck? If you got a truck for $845 a month, that's pretty cool. Oh wow, 2005 Eagle. All right, cool. Yeah, hit the like button. Little Light Coach brings up a point. You know, I used to kind of like not be one of those guys that like begs for likes, but apparently there's something to that because I got to make a few adjustments to the YouTube so so I show up in your recommended feeds a little bit more. And I think that's what we need. We need more positive channels to show up in the recommended feeds, right? I think that would help the YouTube trucking universe. And so the more likes, shares, and all that crap, you know, do that stuff. Or don't. See if I care. If my video don't talk about trucking, nobody watches it. Burger, that is completely false. I looked at your channel the other day, and I looked at your guitar video, and everybody was like, do more of this, do more of this, do more of this. I've been telling you for the last 2 years that you needed to do more guitar stuff. Your videos on maintaining the truck are really great, and your videos on how you're successful at Schneider are really great. Your newest one was really good. And it was an honest video. Steve Burger is one of the honest ones out here. That is a huge thing with me. I get that we have to play personas at times, but you know, and some YouTubers are really great at that. However, I think that people react positively to honesty. And in today's world, it's hard to find honesty. It's hard to find friends or people that haven't burned you in one way or another, you know? More jam videos, right. They're hooking it up with a set of tires, full maintenance check before it even rolls off the lot. Awesome. Good deal, man. And see, and that's the way to make money, Bandit, because your costs are going to, you know, unless the truck starts screwing up on you. But even then, $850 a month, you can afford to put a ton away for maintenance, and then that when something does come down the pipeline, which you know it will, you'll be set. So I would do more guitar stuff if time would allow it, but when I go home, I'm always busy with the kids, house stuff, rarely get to play anymore. I hear you, Burger, but you've been able to play more in the last 2 years or last year than you have in the last 6 years. So you know, that's something good. Any questions, comments, or concerns? We're at 29 minutes. Something else I want to talk about: cell phones. today I was going through Joplin, Missouri. I was in the right-hand lane going down Range Line. That's the main drag, the main strip. I was heading north. And I look in the mirror, and there's this guy literally like hand the steering wheel, and he's literally had it like right there. And he's all over the road. He gets in my lane, you know. So he gets beside me, and he is, whatever he was doing, he was entranced in it, right? Entranced. Is that a word? That's a word, right? And I wait for him to pass, and I need to get in the left lane because I'm turning left on 7th, right? And now he's all over the road in front of me. Now we get to a light. Doesn't quite almost stop. You know, he's like, he's driving like he's drunk, right? Because I mean, the hand and phone have not moved. And then he starts going, and he's doing like 10 miles an hour while the rest of the cars are like doing 40. I'm trying to go, and I just hit the air horn for about 30 seconds. And that dude went, pew! He took off. And the cell phone thing, we all know it's a bad thing, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. I've got some footage on my GoPro of people just all over the place, truck and car. I plan on putting a thing together of just random clips with no theme to them, and then I've got a vlog about the short haul stuff I've been doing this week that I'm working on, and they'll probably be uploaded by Tuesday of next week, next year, so 2020. So we'll see. Yep. Making 88% when I put it on where I'm at, then I'll get my authority and get the big money. There you go. I agree. Honesty is huge and is lacking nowadays. I agree. How long to grow the beard? Trying to think of the video where the last video was clean shaven. I want to say a year, over a year. Let me look, see if I can't find that video. I know it was a recorded video, it wasn't live. I was still a Snyder. Let's just look here. Yeah, we're watching Steve on our phones, watch his phone. And that'll have the date on it. Of course, I got a lot of videos. It's probably going to be like over a year at least. It might be close to the 2 years overtaxed. It's not letting me load anymore. We're at 9 months. Oh. Probably about 2 years overtaxed. And mind you, I've trimmed it a few times but the last time I was clean shaven, I was at Schneider. And I was at a rest area. I did a video about rest areas. I think that's what it was. Clyde, what's up? How the freight gods treat you? It's doing all right, man. The rates have come up a little bit. The short haul game has worked really well. I've got a rep at a brokerage that's really been helping me out. He's not dispatching me. I mean, I'm still choosing everything, but he's definitely been helping me string some stuff together, and I've gotten consistency out of that. I scheduled things kind of tight though this week, but it worked. I showed up at the shipper. Now the shipper in Joplin, I'd been to that shipper before, and they used to have everybody pick up on one building. That's where they bring all the scrap paper, right? And the address on the app and on the Raycon was at that address, but I knew that address was a kick in the butt because the last time I picked up, I went there and they're like, "Oh, you're in the wrong warehouse. You got to go a couple blocks down that way," and it's not easy to turn around in that warehouse. So I went ahead and went to the other warehouse first, and sure enough, that's where I was supposed to be. My appointment was at 2. I showed up at 9. The next thing I know, they're hitting me, and I was out of there within an hour and a half. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. No, I didn't have the beard in the Landstar videos. And one of the good habits for those of you guys that are in the spot market, one of the tips that has worked is like if you and this is something I wish I would have done at Landstar and I didn't. If I went back to Landstar today, I could probably do a lot better because there's a lot of things I've learned being out here that definitely would have. I look back at my Landstar experience. I'm like, I didn't do that right. Well, yeah, I kind of screwed that up. Wow, I should have done that, And it's all a learning curve, right? And if you do a load for a broker, right? Find out what they have coming out. Try to string 2 or 3 or 4 loads with that particular broker, especially if you have a good. When you have a good experience. Now, if you have a broker you have bad experience, don't put them on your blacklist and don't use them. But if you can say, hey, and within 3 loads, you're developing a relationship with this person. Next thing you know, you're getting emails from them, and you're going to get phone calls before everybody else before they put on the load board. Because face it, brokers would rather call the drivers that they know versus take 20 phone calls from 20 drivers on one load. And there's a lot of good loads that don't even hit the load boards, right? And so every morning, my morning ritual while I'm drinking my coffee, I look at all the emails that I'm getting from all the different brokerages, and like planning my next step. Right now, I'm booked until Wednesday of next week, and I'll be checking my emails tomorrow morning to see what's coming out of that area that I'll be in. And and more than likely it'll be someone that I've worked with. I haven't done a cold call on a load board in over a month. I check all the apps. I check the people that I know first. I check my emails, and that's kind of how in Landstar you can do that too. You have the agents that you work with, and that can almost like just provide you with whatever you need, Right. You're right, man. Build relationships and you can get paid more than a different guy calling the same load. Right. Because the guy that I use, he knows I'm on time. He knows I'm not just going to cancel. He knows I'm not going to schedule it right. And at the same time, he knows that I'm not going to do scrap metal. I'm not going to do scrap paper unless it's some cardboard. There's certain areas I won't go in. There's a couple of shippers, even here in Missouri, that I won't go to. And he knows that, so he doesn't waste his time with loads like that with me, And he's aggressive enough without being pushy, And so but we have we can shoot we can shoot the crap for 10 minutes on the phone, and he gets my detention like that. I haven't waited for my detention yet, and so he takes care of us, and we take care of him. That's how it works. They're having a hard time getting $2 out of these brokers the last couple of days. Yeah, Minnesota. I was looking at FreightWaves' thing, and there's still more loads than trucks. I mean, yeah, no, more trucks than loads. Sorry, there's still more trucks than loads, and until that changes, it's going to be like that. And that's just the nature of the beast. It's just how it is. And judged by the maps that FreightWaves is showing on Sonar, you know, it showed like the inbound and outbound tenders, and then it showed where the trucks were at, and there was a lot more trucks than loads. And so capacity is a certain component to the market, whether you're contract or spot. And the DOT Blitz was proof of that. You know, it changed the capacity a little bit, you know, but then you had a lot of people price gouging right off the bat, you know, and the brokers remember that. You know, it's like, give me a decent rate now when rates are lower, and I won't price gouge you later, you know, when everybody else is. And that's kind of the name of the game. We create stability, create consistency with that. You sound pretty upbeat, Gramps. I'm late as always. Ratman, I was just bragging about you. I know for a fact Integrity Express Logistics $250 off loads, whereas Chop Tank takes only $50 to $150, but loads are often heavy and low paying. I'll never go back to the place I went to this morning. What a cluster. That's the beauty of self-dispatch. You do a load once that ticks you off, and you're like, never again. Or I'll do that, but you're gonna pay up, you know. They say now it was just fantastic last year. You're absolutely right, Levi Coach. It's but that perception is there, right? And a lot of people came out here thinking that, you know, the rates of last year were going to, I don't know, there's a lot of people that came out here with their costs too high, not knowing that it was going to get lower and lower and lower. And like right now, I was telling, I think in 2014 that the DAT average was like in the $1.47, $1.50 range. Definitely doing a lot better than that now, but the part of the pinch is that trucks are higher, repairs are higher, fuel is higher, you know, so it feels like more of a crunch. But it's also, it's about perception, right? You know, you get on Facebook and one guy's like, oh, this is great rates, I haven't had a bad rate for, you know, last 2 years, blah blah blah. And you got another guy that's like, I'm about to lose everything because I can't get more than $1.50 a mile. You know, what's the difference there? What's the difference between those two people? You know, usually it's attitude and perception. Putting those Dale Carnegie skills to work. Yes, sir. Yes, Adam, you are absolutely correct. We're gonna make a video and tell us all about it. That is a good idea. Nothing. That is a good idea. But I honestly believe that a large percentage of the things that we deal with out here and how you run your business, or how you, just as a company driver, it's all in your perception. You know, you got another man's trash is another man's treasure, you know, that kind of thing. And while, you know, you hear people say don't haul cheap freight. Well, what is cheap freight? Everything that people do in the dry van is cheap compared to like a heavy haul guy, you know, or a reefer, you know. Everything a step deck does is not as cheap as, you know, what I do compared to a step deck guy is probably cheap, you know, but my costs are cheaper too. So you got to find the fine line. You don't want to put yourself under. You don't want to be below your costs, and you got to know when to deadhead out, when it's right to deadhead out, when it's right to take that cheap load for fuel. You know, it's all strategy, and you find what works, and what works this week's not going to work next week. Like, I guarantee you that short hop thing is not going to be a thing next week for me. It usually isn't 2 weeks in a row. And I'm thankful that Jeff has a Missouri intrastate, so I could bounce all over Missouri. Sometimes I can make good money, and other times short game isn't there, but I have that opportunity to use that. So it's all perception and attitude, I think. I mean, yeah, there's bad luck, and you can have a bad truck, or you can have a bad shipper or whatever, but for the most part, cheap freight and bad runs and bad companies, it's all in your perception. People can succeed in any company depending if it meets their needs. I think I talked about that in my last coffee video. Makes a difference what percentage you get off loads too. Not necessarily, Bandit. If you make 88%, but your fixed cost from the carrier by the nickel and dime and the insurance and everything else is pretty high, versus somebody that makes 80% with no expenses, who's bringing home more, right? For example, if you have a company that's 80-20, and that 80% there's no expenses taken out, right, except fuel, and then you have another carrier that's 85%, that your fixed costs become $1,500 a month. Let's do the math on that. Okay. Let's say you average $3,000 a month, right? Booked rate. $3,000, so that's $12,000, right? So $12,000 times 0.85 comes out to $10,200. Now take out that $1,500. So $10,200 minus $1,500, you're going to net $8,700, right? And the screen's too bright to show that on camera. Now, if you take that same 12,000 times 0.8, it's 9,600. So you made more, right? So it's not always a percentage. Don't let that percentage fool you. So, did I do that right? Where's the history? Yeah. Yeah, so after that 1,500, so one truck gets, at the 85, actually got 8,700, and then the truck that gets 80 got 9,600. So it's not always about the percentage, my friend. It's not always about the percentage. And these are the little things I've learned in the last 5 years. Lisa, what's up? How you doing? You are full of good ideas, nothing witty. You said months ago, if you don't know your cents per mile, you can't complain. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Lots of swear words in that video. You are right, Steve. Salty Pirates hauling the tour of the Try Guys YouTube channel. They have 6 million subs. Wow. If you have a steady run supply, there's money to be had year round, right? I hope I made the right move today. I load canceled and I'm deadheading 400 miles out to pick up a load, but still making $1.43 mile on miles. Puts me back in the lane I know better. Charles, that's part of the strategy. It's like what I used to do at Schneider was I would put like 3 load strings together. I have a little small whiteboard, right? And I would write each string down and what revenue it generated by what day and what gave me the better rate per day and rate per mile. And 9 times You know, and out of those 3 strings, that's what I would book. Is the one that, like, there might be one that was a couple $100 less, but it put me in a better area, or it might have been a couple $100 more, but it had more deadhead to get that. You know, it's like, you know, if you know, deadhead can, you know, like for example, I delivered a load in Sanger, Texas one time, a couple months ago. And instead of grabbing something out of Dallas, I made the same rate per mile by deadheading 100 or 200 miles to Oklahoma and took that short hop somewhere else. That paid as much revenue as going all the way to Dallas and delivering that load. So, you know, sometimes deadhead can be your friend. Sometimes it can be your enemy. Again, it's a balancing act. You know, if you know, like for example, the other thing too is I have a load booked going from Rolla, Missouri to Bentonville, Arkansas, right? Well, I was delivering in Joplin, and I have a Joplin to Fulton. So let's say that broker called and said, hey, that Joplin to Fulton just canceled. Well, give me my truck order not used, and I'll go to Rolla to not break that string, right? If there was nothing to be found. And that would have been $1 a mile on the deadhead, because 150 miles is probably a little bit more than 150 miles to Rolla, but that would have helped pay for that deadhead. So sometimes, you know, and some people might not like that strategy, but what if I canceled the second load and I don't get anything, you know? So it's like, and that was the trick at Landstar. If you booked 2 or 3 loads ahead, you didn't want to break the chain, because if you got blacklisted with the agents, you had trouble finding loads. So in a lot of the agents that were new, they don't understand that freight cancels all the time. You know, the spot market, they're a little bit more forgiving. Hey, I just, you know, my load canceled, and they know that we're booking ahead to, you know, to keep moving. You're paying $1K a week at 73% not making any money. Well, yeah, that's horrible, man. That's definitely horrible. How does a YouTube channel go on tour? I'm too old school for this stuff. That's a good question. I'm full of fun stories, Woody. I'll tell you some good rock and roll stories over some lasagna. There you go. 6 million subs, want to see them like rock stars. Okay. I've never heard of him either. I was talking to Salty on Zello, and he was telling me about that. I'm like, who's that? And the loads that were found for me only paid $1.62 per mile, tops 72% minus the fuel at 6.5. They were between 88 and 73, would have been an extra $1,500 in my pocket last place I lived. Right. But it's different factors. So in that situation, yeah, you were getting reamed, and you're getting a higher percentage. So you're going to be good. Steve did a Zach Wild sound check. That's awesome. I've heard that story. Nothing witty. To make what I needed after fuel, each load needed to pay $2 per mile minimum. Reading the comments here. I got a better truck. So, Bandit, do you know what your cost per mile is going to be? At, you know, or an estimated cost per mile? You don't really know your cost per mile until you're actually running. But you can do estimated cost per mile. And, you know, kind of put all that together. Light Bright, what's up? Yeah, I did a lot of math today to figure out which way would end the week better. There you go. 2-bit Matt Mataway. Howdy. I can't imagine buying a ticket to see that. I'm definitely not their target audience. Right? It just goes to show you, you know, there's a lot of trucking YouTubers that are not famous that have just as many subs, but they're just not known in our world. You know? Then you got people like Burger, who barely puts out videos, but he still has more subs than I do. And his videos consistently get more views than mine do. And then Provost, he's got a good channel. And he's got less subs than me, but his videos get way more views than mine. So it's not all about subscribers, too. So, but when you're getting 6 million subscribers, you're probably getting some kind of audience, right? 85 to 1 per mile. There you go. Thomas Wilson, what's up? Yep, yeah, you're definitely a lot cheaper with that truck payment too. So, and a lot of people don't realize that if you throw in all your home expenses and everything into your cost per mile, including spending money, right? And you're doing loads right at that cost, you're still making money. You know, and if you're making a little bit above that, that's profit, right? But I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a math guy. Math is hard, and I'm horrible about paperwork. I mean, I'm better. In the last 5 years, I've gotten a little bit more streamlined, but you know, I'm still working on a few things. I don't think I could have my own authority at this point, because not that I'm looking to get it right now, but you know, you always have the what ifs, right? And right now, I'm not organized enough to do that. So I'll leave that up to Jeff. I need to make 700 a week, take home, stay alive, says Bandit. That's not bad at all. I suck at paperwork, says Matt. I fail big time with my own authority. Well, see, it goes back to perception. I think that once I get my act together, then I'll be ready for that next step. But until then, now, my first year, I was that guy that threw all the receipts in a box, gave it to the accountant, and said, deal with that, right? Second year, they were all nicely stacked and put in envelopes. In the third year, I actually made copies for myself. Fourth year, I digitalized everything. I used an app called Tiny Scanner Pro. Cost $2 once. And every receipt and expense that goes to the truck is scanned on that. It's categorized and it's in a file folder. It's put on the computer and it's put on a thumb drive separate from the computer. And then I've got a program called Truckin' Pro, which if you want to use it, use my code SAT, you'll get $10 off. And that really breaks everything down. And then you got this weird thing. I'm going to show you guys one of the best apps that you can use if you're not technologically advanced, right? Here it is. Here's the app right here. You guys ready? Okay. At least look at what you're doing. At least look at your numbers. Put it on paper. Have it in front of you when you're deciding what loads to do, what your strategies are, how to make money. There's nothing wrong with this, right? But you're better off with the computer thing. Just saying. And then you got Jeff, who promotes Truckin' Office. You know, which, you know, I think I'm the only light guy not using it. Nothing against Truckin' Office, I just don't want to learn something new right now. So you're 39, you're still getting your stuff together. I don't know, man. I'm 40. How old am I? Nothing Woody? 46 or something like that, and I'm just now starting to get my act together on some things, but not everything. What is that? Southbound J. Jason, I called you earlier. The best scanner program out there. You're right, Ralph. And I'll show you guys. And like for those of you who use TransFlow app to send in your paperwork, scanner, Tiny Scanner does the same thing. It's the same technology. So like, and it keeps everything in folders. Let me take the blue line out of this thing. There we go. See, I got everything in folders, right? Right? So, let's look at June expenses. So far I've only got 3 things. That's receipts. It's 2 scale tickets and an ATM. If you use an outside ATM and you get charged a fee, that's tax deductible. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. But yeah, I use Tiny Scanner, okay, and I use Adobe Fill Inside for when I got to cite Raycons. Of course, you got MacroPoint, Cat Scale app, Scanner. That's like Radio Police Scanner, Trucker Path, Calendar, and Dimly. But that's how you do that. 40. Just a baby. I got t-shirts older than you. Wife likes Cam Scanner. Yeah. I'm going through Apex Financial. Has an authority team and a fuel card. When you factor, they give you a 2K credit line per truck. I know. Sorry, I had some issues to deal with. I hope you're doing okay, Jason. No, we play phone tag all the time. Just make sure you back up all your data in case your computer crashes. I'd look that for granted wouldn't happen and lost all your first year data. Yeah, I keep everything on a thumb drive. And all the receipts and stuff, they're in the internets. They're in the interwebs. And then I make copies, physical copies of everything too, so. Like, even though I use the Cat Scale app, I still go in and get my ticket if I'm not in a situation where I can't go in or I'm in a hurry. I'll still go in and get that. Yep. Redundancy is necessary. I have data in 4 places. There you go. Oh, I'm blessed, says Southbound Jay. But, you know, it's all a learning process, you know, and sometimes, I don't know, if you kind of look at it like it's not worth the fight anymore, then, you know, I think it's a bit more of a struggle. But I look at that struggle, that you know, okay, the headache of putting receipts together, the headache of tracking my expenses, the headache of putting everything in the computer when I'm on my home time, you know, and the headache of constantly thinking about where my next load's going to be and where it's picking up and all that. To me, that is a labor of, it's like a necessary means to an end. You know, if dealing with all those things gets me the freedom that I experience, then that's good. And it goes back to that, is it a curse or is it a blessing? And if things were easy, you become complacent. Complacency breeds weakness. And I have definitely been guilty of being complacent. Fear of failure is a great motivator as well as a great deterrent. It's all about attitude. Right, Ratman, I agree. And it's like the diet stuff. That's why I made myself accountable, because I wanted that to be a motivator. Like, oh, look at Steve, he's 400 pounds again, you know, and he gave up, and you know, but you know, it's like I want to be accountable for some things, right? Because I can't sit here and tell you that, you know, the keto thing works and then fail on it myself. That doesn't do anybody good. You I lose credibility that way, right? My wife, the accountant, likes the fact that I make it easier on her tax time. I bet. Great topic of discussion. What do you do when you fold your authority and go back company driving, then leave them in 3 months? Now no one will hire you. Oh man, I want to say you probably should reactivate your authority, Michael. If you can, or find a small carrier that will take you on. So what you make of it? Glass half empty, glass half full, right? No Bucks, no Buck Rogers, man. I'm sure there's a company out there somewhere you can go with, Michael. Sorry to hear that. You seem to be a good dude. You were very generous at GATS last year. It was cool hanging out with you, and it sucks that you're going through what you're going through. I do know a couple of carriers, Michael Dow, that might hire you. Yep, Jason Perry's got a good idea. And find Salty Pirate's older videos. He can tell you where to go. I know that they hire people that have switched jobs a few times. So Michael, I think I still have your number, if I remember correctly. Michael Dow, is your number still the same as it was last year? Hey, retract that comment, Michael Dow. Let's see here. Let's see. There you go. Thank you. I'm going to text you the name of the company. They're out of Chicago. Yep, I got your number right. So I couldn't do it myself because I don't like being told where to go, right? Cool. Look up that company, Michael Dow. I know 2 people that are over there, 3 people actually. And they're doing pretty good over there. They don't have any issues. So, and they do pay pretty good. They're paying okay. In fact, one of them's going on a cruise next year, so that's how well they do over there. So that should tell you something, right? But anyways, guys, it's 10 o'clock Central, which is where I'm at, and it's time for me to get to bed because I got kind of a long day tomorrow. Not really, maybe. My customer tomorrow is probably only going to take, well, I don't know, I take it back. It's 4 loaded, so they might take a minute. And then As long as I can make it to Rolla by noon, we'll be good. And then we'll drive about 3 hours down the road from there. There you go. That's a good plan, Michael. Yeah, Jason, holler at me tomorrow. 9 times out of 10, I'm on the phone with Roscoe, who will not see this video until tomorrow morning. So, should I frustrate Roscoe and like make this video private after I'm done? that'll tick him off. Anyways, I won't do that. I think it's been an okay video. I don't know. Do you guys like the video? Give me some thumbs up if you liked it. Give me some thumbs down if you're obsessed and watching me but you don't like me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And until next time, if you made it this far, peace be with you. Later.